Hey guys, Alan here. So this is a tier list. Everyone wants to know, what I think of each thing, and everyone's like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I thought, you know what, I would join the rest of the internet and make a thing. By thing, I mean a tier list. As you can see, here is the weapons listed in front of us. I originally used PNG files to show what each one looked like, but then I realized that had two problems. One, a lot of people might actually not know from an icon. They might not actually be able to tell the difference between, say, the shot bolt and the explosive crossbow. And two, the image PNGs I downloaded were like way too big, or like way too big quality, or like way too graphically intense, I guess. The PNG, like the pixel size, was too much of it, and so they either looked really crisp, but like they got cut off, or they looked really fuzzy and shit. And there was this point when I was converting them all over to just text documents. I was like, what is that? What is that weapon? I can't even tell. Turns out it was a combat axe, but it was just the handle of the axe, and I had no idea. I was like, well, that could be anything. That could be a Romero. That could probably be a Crown and King. I've got no idea. So anyway, hi, here we are. Yes, the tier list. Please understand that because this is a tier list, this is super subjective. This is my opinion. What I think about it. If I think it's good or I think it's bad. Some of you here might be like, oh well, how dare you not put the throwing knife at S tier, Alan? How dare you? Because the throwing knife it's the best and it puts the intense bleed, and no one cares. Okay, no one gives a fuck, because no one's going to put a throwing knife at S tier. That's just dumb, right? There's not much in S tier. I'm not telling you what is there. We'll get there. I feel like it's not going to be that much of a surprise. Please also understand that a lot of these are put here because it's really what I personally... This is my opinion, right? It's what I personally think of the weapon. So you might be an absolute god with a battalion. It might be an A tier for you, or you might absolutely think the hand crossbow poison is the best thing ever, and put it there. But this is what I personally think about. These are not weapons. You may also notice there's no variants here. Like, there's no sniper scopes, like there's no spark sniper, Vitelli, Deadeye, there's none of that. It's just base weapons. There's no variants. So there's no Winfield Swifts, or hand cannons, because, well, what the hell? I hate Jesus. Because although, yeah, those are different weapons, technically, they're variants of the base version, and I'm not really going to be talking about the variants of the base version, or we'll be here all day, because a lot of the variants of the base version, instead of putting it in like A tier, say like it's the Montini, oh bugger that, let's not that, because it's a scope version, let's just say I put the Spectre at A, right, and then there's the Spectre Compact. Well, that's not even remotely an A or B, it's in C. Maybe even D, probably, actually. But I don't really want to talk about it. Like the Bornheim, there's the Bornheim Extended. So the Bornheim would be B. The Bornheim Extended is probably close to S. It's in A. Right? I don't really want to talk about variants. Just the base weapon, because not enough of the variants differ enough. Because the difference of the variants is they just get more ammo or unique feature. Right? So like there's the Winnie C, but there's also the Big Dick Winfield, which has got all the ammo. Right? So the Winnie... This Winfield is still better than the Winnie C. It's not really a variant, it is its standalone gun, but it's basically the Winfield, just with more ammo. And the Winnie Swift and the Winnie Vandal and all that fun stuff, they just either have an attachment, or the Swift reloads 7 bullets quickly and stuff like that. So this is my opinion. There are the exclusion of variants other than the crossbows, because they are such a variant that they are their own weapon. Like the explosive crossbow and the shot bolt work completely differently, and the poison hand crossbow is garbage, but it's still completely different, right? It's still there, right? It's still there. I almost want to make an E tier just for the hand crossbow. I'm telling you where the poison hand crossbow is now. It's D or E. It's D or lower. I might even physically right now make a lower. You know what? I'm physically going to make an E right now. Think its own color. It's a shame that it's purple because I like purple, but whatever. It's just now E. It's A tier. Congratulations, and it's right there. Done. Started the video off well. It's right there. It's just there. It's garbage. It's just not a good weapon. I just don't like it. It basically does nothing. It's like the hand crossbow. Where the hell is the hand crossbow? It's here somewhere. It's like the hand crossbow. It just doesn't one-shot people. It's only good against bosses, which, you know, and bosses that aren't the spider, I may add, and immolators. That's it. That's really all it's good for. You don't get your bolts back. It doesn't one-shot a player even in the chest. It doesn't even one-shot a player, I think, even in the head. I think. It might. I don't know. I've never used it. It might, but you know what? No one fucking cares, because if you can use the poison crossbow, the poison hand crossbow, you can use the regular hand crossbow. That being said, regular hand crossbow we'll get to. So anyway, let's kick off with some things, and I'm just going to jump into one that you probably all think is pretty strange, and you're surprised that it's here, but I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to put the Derringer right at B tier. The Derringer is absolutely fantastic. It's 4 bullets. You refuel it from the little tool containers, and the Derringer is great. I mean, it's like a 63 meter range, I think, for headshot, which is not very long, but this thing will reliably kill someone, right? You're not really going to use it as a main weapon. The Derringer is not a main weapon. I'm sure there's people that have gone and run meme builds with it, but the Derringer is used as a backup, usually its actual purpose, right, is as a last stand, like a last draw weapon. But a lot of people use it in conjunction with the Sparks. So the Spark will do 149 damage, take them to 1 health, and then you just Derringer them, right? Like it's a big meme, but it sounds like a meme, but it's actually really effective. The Derringer's solid B tier weapon. It sounds dumb. It's a tool, right? It's a tool. It reloads from fucking lunch boxes. The tool boxes, the orange ones. Yeah, it's good. The Derringer's really good. Seriously, do not sleep on the Derringer. Frickin' use it. There's a reason it unlocks at level 69, okay? Because it's sexy. Use it. Use the Derringer. Moving on that to the under end of something that I don't particularly think is amazing. The combat axe. Seriously, it's a melee weapon. It's just going in D tier. It doesn't have... it will one-shot you. It'll one-shot you with a charge attack. It'll one-shot you with a line attack. But the reason why it's in D is because the Cab Saber exists, and the Cab Saber is in solid C. It's a melee weapon, right? It's got range, it's got thrust, the Cab Saber inputs a bleed, right? The Cab Saber is better than the Combat Axe in basically every way. A Cab Saber light hit will not kill a player, but you're not really using, right? The reason why you take a Cab Saber over a Combat Axe is the range. The Cab Saber has much more range than the Combat Axe, and charging someone and stabbing them, super effective. It's really good. It's fantastic. Next up, we'll use the Nagant. We actually put the Nagant. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to put the regular Nagant pistol in B, but only for one reason. This is the regular Nagant that you can buy, or you come at the start of the game. The only reason why I'm putting the regular Nagant here is because with fanning, this thing is fantastic. Without fanning, kinda average. In fact, very fucking average. And I just realized I've looked at all of this. I've looked at all of this now, and I've realized I've forgotten a weapon, which is really dumb. Thought I had all the weapons, but I realized the officer is not actually. It's its own weapon. But the reason why the officer is not here is because I actually put officer carbine, the officer/officer carbine, right? This is a variant, but I feel like the officer carbine is just such its own thing, right? So the officer is the pistol, officer carbine. Yeah, the officer carbine is a variant, right? And I've said there's no variants. However, it's just such not a variant, really. Like it is, but it isn't. Like it's so good. There's a reason why it's in A. It's so good. It shouldn't be a variant. Like the basic officer pistol, like the officer Nagant officer would be B tier, but the carbine, right, with the stock and everything, is just solid A. It just clicks heads. Yes, I know, technically a variant, but it operates so differently, similar to the shot bolt or the explosive, that it deserves to be an A. As a result, officer pistol would be in B, but I don't have the officer pistol here because it doesn't matter, because you're not going to use the officer pistol, you're going to use the frickin' carbine because it's amazing. However, officer pistol would be in B. Just so you know. There's people who want to know where it is. It would be in B. I just want to clear that up now because I noticed. I thought I'd just... Yeah. Good. Moving from that, we have the knife. The basic knife. Basic knife. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to put it in B for me personally. The reason why the knife is in B for me is because I use it all the time. It's a tool. You always bring it in, pretty much always, and its effectiveness of killing players is... It's so good at killing players. People don't see knife rushes coming, like a lot. And if you've watched me for any period of time, you will realize that I knife people frequently. Like, I have my own skin in the game for the label. But if it wasn't for the label, it'd probably be for the knife, because the amount of times I knife people, it's super effective. It's a tool slot. It doesn't take a melee weapon slot. If it took a melee weapon slot, I wouldn't bother. I'd use a cab saber. But because it's a tool, that's actually the only reason why the cab saber is not higher. Because it's a weapon, it actually physically takes the slot up. So, yeah. Similar again to my dilemma with the officer carbine / officer pistol. The reason why I just put it here is because officer carbine is just so good. The knife is just so good that I debated not actually even bothering with the heavy knife. But the heavy knife actually differs greatly because of the fact that the heavy knife is a slash, the knife is a stab, and that extra stab gives you more range. It's a lot, also a stamina usage, but it's a lot easier to kill a player, I find, with a knife than a heavy knife, because you run around with a knife for so long stabbing zombies in the head. You don't run around stabbing zombies in the head with a heavy knife, you just walk up and you slash them once. You can do that to a player, but a heavy knife is a slash, a regular knife is a stab, and the amount of times I've had a duel with someone and they've used a heavy knife and I use a regular knife, yeah, it happens. I've timed it perfectly and I've stabbed them in the head and their heavy knife has missed me. So, definitely a thing. Yeah, it's fantastic. Another thing that also does a slash and is not very good is the machete, and it's in D. I'm sorry. The machete's not that reliable. It's just not. It's also a slash, similar to a heavy knife, but unlike the heavy knife, it's a weapon. It's its own standalone weapon, and I don't think it's very good. It's just not great. The amount of times I've used a slash on this thing, and I've hidden someone's arm or their shoulder, and it just hasn't killed them, and it's really underwhelming. If I'm running at someone with a melee weapon, my point is to kill them. A knife can go stab slash real quick. A machete is just, it's too slow. It's too slow to do it. The stamina cost is actually really quite reasonable, which is good, but just not really effective at killing people. Yeah, which is a shame. Speaking of things which is actually effective at killing people, and you probably wouldn't pick it, is the hand crossbow, which I'm going to put actually, surprisingly, solidly in B tier. Why, you ask? Why, Alan, would you put the hand crossbow solidly in B tier, which is pretty near the top? It's because the hand crossbow is a small Romero that is silent. I know, that sounds very silly, and I understand that it is a medium weapon. I know it's a medium weapon, and that sounds weird, but hear me out. This thing will one-shot someone to the chest at the same range as a Romero, right? It'll dick you at 15 meters. It totally will. It'll just one-tap you. It also, unlike the Romero, is completely silent. Also, unlike the Romero, it now applies a bleed. Shotguns used to, but Crytek removed that. So the hand crossbow will apply a bleed, unlike the Romero. The hand crossbow will one-shot you probably more effectively because you just have to hit them in the chest and they're dead. Unlike the Romero, you've got to hit some pellets. Yeah. Hand crossbow, solid B tier. Solid B tier. You get your bolt back, it's really good. I like it. It's a pocket Romero that is silent. It's good. Most people probably won't see it coming. That's its effectiveness at killing people. You generally won't see it run that much, but yeah, it's okay. What you will most likely see is its actually Big Brother variant, which is the crossbow. And you know what? I actually put the crossbow still in B tier. It's a bigger version of the hand crossbow. It packs more of a punch, and it can hit from further away and one-tap you. But you know what? It's the same thing. It's the same. It does more damage. It can do it from further away. You get your bolt back, which is great. But it's still a crossbow. It's still a crossbow. It's still a crossbow, and that means it's to the same penalty, which is you need bolt thrower to make it effective. You need to spend a lot of time learning the bullet drop. Not many weapons have bullet drop in this game, but all the crossbows do, and the bomb lance does. Throwing knives as well. But they all have bullet drop, and it takes a long time to figure out how to use them. So that's why it's in the same tier. It's surprising, I know, but that's why it's in the same tier. Speaking of weapons though that aren't in the B tier, but is a crossbow, is the shot bolt. Oh man, I actually heavily considered putting this in S. I'm serious. It's just that good. Really, I considered putting it in S. I really did. The only reason why I don't is because of the absolute insane time investment. In fact, the explosive crossbow is going here too, because both the shot bolt and the explosive crossbow are amazing weapons. The shot bolt is a fantastic solo or like, I'm just gonna kill you weapon. You can hit anyone in the chest at any range, and it will kill you. The problem is hitting people in the chest, because if hunters are on their side, often you hit their arms, and it won't count as a kill. It's very annoying. But if you can hit someone fair square in the chest, they're just dead. Also, you can wall bang with it relatively effectively. Same deal with the explosive crossbow, but the explosive crossbow is not a wall banging tool, it is a I see you're behind cover, sir, you're now fucking dead. That's what it does. The explosive crossbow works really well if you've got someone else on your team who has injured someone, or you personally are running a weapon, say like a Emotes and Obres, and you hit them with your Obres, and they go and find cover, and then you say, not today, motherfucker, and you end them, and it's great. You don't even need to hit someone, you just have to land it near them, and the explosive crossbow will do the rest. Absolutely fantastic gun. Not a gun, it's a bow, sorry. Absolutely fantastic weapon. It is hard to use. It is hard to get used to. You have to put some considerable time into learning it. But it's absolutely fantastic, and I wholeheartedly recommend, if you want a weapon that is challenging but rewarding, the crossbows are for you. Seriously. They're fantastic. I used to shit talk the explosive crossbow a lot. And I shit talked it to a friend of mine who then got very good with it. And yeah, it's just really good. Okay. It's just really good. It's really good. Actually, you know what? I keep thinking about this whole officer carbine thing. The officer pistol and the carbine are actually both A. They're just both A. They're just here. They're both in A tier. They're both amazing. So yeah, they're staying there. Next up actually is the humble throwing knife. You know what? It goes a little bit higher than those because you can throw the damn thing, and I have hit many people with the throwing knife. It's a silent weapon. It's a tool. Much like your regular knife. The difference is it's actually kind of hard to land. So not as consistent as your regular knife, and not as consistent as like a crossbow of some description. But you get good with them. Throwing knife, actually really good. People won't see it coming. Yeah, it's good. 12 out of 10. Will use. But it's still in C tier because it's still a knife. It's not an actual, bullet. You still have to aim the damn thing. There's drop. It's this whole mess. This whole mess of a thing. Next up, we have the... Where do I want to go? Oh yeah, let's do it. The Automat. The Mosin Automat. The automatic rifle that could. Firmly in C tier. Yeah, firmly in C tier. The Avto has been gutted over, oh boy, since the last patch the Avto has changed. The Avto, what it does, and does very well, it's a very aggressive weapon. If you pick an Automat up, you don't sit in a bush and shoot at people. Although, you certainly can sit in a bush and shoot at people. That's definitely an option. Would recommend. But if you only recommend if you want to get shit talked on forums, right? That's it. Honestly, if you use an Avto, your whole playstyle is to just push people. That's all you do, is just run at people and push them. That's how you play it. Pick an Avto up, run at the person, murder the person. Yeah, 3 bullets no matter what, always fires it. Super loud, super intimidating. But unfortunately, not really much of a weapon. which is a real shame. It's come a long way. Like, if you're inside a compound, this gun is good, right? This gun can do a lot inside a compound, and you should probably take it with dual uppercuts just for the ammo, or maybe an Obrez drum for the ammo. And also you should take ammo boxes. Like, if you're playing Avto, you're building your entire loadout around Avto, which is okay, but it really limits you to a certain range, and that range is about, 20 to 30 meters, and that's pretty much what you're playing at. Maybe 40. Yeah, 20 to 40 meters is what you're playing at, and if you fire it once, yeah, everyone knows you've got it. There's no keeping it as a surprise. People just know. So, yeah, that's the Avto. Not really my thing. Never really has been. So, yeah. Okay, so next up we have the Martini Henry. Actually, a really, really good gun. Really good gun. I'm probably going to get some flack for this, and it's going to sound pretty strange, but I put it solidly in the B tier. The reason being is it's just so slow. Right? It's just so slow. It packs a punch, it reloads actually pretty quickly, but it's as slow as a Winnie. No, it's as slow as default Winnie. Yeah, the scope is nice, but it's just a slow weapon. It has a slow travel time. It takes a long time to get to you, and it's just kind of right? Like, the only way that this weapon is really any good at all. You know what? I can't think of anything. Yeah. No. Can't think of anything. No, there's no real way that this weapon's... No. So the reason why I'm blanking on that sentence is because the weapon that's better than it is the Winnie. The default Winnie is better than it. The reason being, and hear me out, right? Hear me out. The Martini Henry has the same bullet velocity as the Winfield. Yeah, same velocity, exactly the same. The Winnie, however, has like 15 extra bullets, or 14 actually. 14 extra bullets. It's an absolute brute of a gun, and I love it, right? So if you can use the Martini Henry effectively, just use the Winnie. Yeah, you're not going to have the damage of the Henry, or you're not going to have the range, because the Henry is long ammo, right? But what you're going to do effectively is just click heads, right? If you can click heads with a Martini Henry, then you can click heads with a Winnie, and you will be better with a Winnie because you can just walk up to a team and go click, 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 and they're all dead. Well, Martini Henry, yeah, you can do it from further away, but if you're learning to lead that far away with such a slow weapon, right? Just get closer and guarantee the kill with a Winfield. It's why I don't really rate Martini that highly, because a Winnie is just, it's just better. It's so weird to say. It only in the last patch has compact ammo been better in many cases than long ammo. Like, don't get me wrong, in 1.0 and whatnot, yeah, compact ammo was great, but now, the fact that the Winnie is better than the Henry, just for me personally, I mean, I'm sure there's some people who are just great with a Henry, but if you're great with a Henry, you're going to be a brute with a Winnie. I just don't get it. Yeah. If you want to pen walls and pen things, fantastic, Martini's your boy, but the Winnie just clicks heads, dude. There's a reason it's an A. It's the reason why it's the same place as the Officer Carbine and the Officer Pistol. They're both an A, because they're both just great at what they do. They fire fast and they click heads. That's it. Like, they're just really good. Speaking of things that are single shot and are really, really good, is the Sparks. The Sparks is faster than a Henry, but it's not actually in A tier because it's faster than a Henry. In fact, it might even potentially be in S. It might actually be in S. It just might. I'm so close to putting it there. I'm just so close. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. This is my opinion. I think that Sparks is amazing. I'm putting the Sparks in S. And the reason being is because it leaves you on 1 health. If you chest shot someone 40 meters, I think it's even more than that. I think it's 60 meters and under 60 meters. It might actually be under 40. But they're on 1 health. They are on 1 health. A stiff breeze spitting on them, even looking at them funny, is going to kill them. You hit someone far away with a Martini, you know, or not, the same range of Martini, not anything is going to kill them. They take like 143 damage, right? That's not 1 health. The Sparks is 1 health and travels at 533. Oh, it's more than that, actually. No, I think it's 533. It's a lot faster than Henry. Yeah, it reloads slowly. But these weapons are on this if you are good with them. If you're good with an explosive crossbow, A tier. If you're good with the Sparks, S. It's just so good. It's just so good. It leaves them at 1 freaking health, man. And doming someone at like 150 meters is just, it's so good. It's so good. Now you might be thinking, Alan, well that must mean the Labelle and the Mosin are also S? No, they're not. I'm going to put them both up here because they're both in the same spot for me. The reason why the Mosin Nagant and the Labelle are not S is because it doesn't leave you on 1 frickin' health, man. It's just, I just love it. I love that. Now I know there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of purists or a lot of like veterans are going to be like, oh well dude, no, the Mosin and the Labelle fire way faster and they're way better in an engagement, and you know what, you'd be right. Because they fire faster and they, they're more consistent. But we're not talking about consistency, we're talking about if you're good with the weapon. And yeah, you could just say, oh, we'll just click heads with the Sparks and click heads with the Mosin and click heads with the Labelle. Yes. Yes, you could. However, it's not going to leave you on 1 frickin' health. You can spark someone and decoy kill them. You can kill them with a flash bomb, okay? You can spark someone and flashbang them for a kill. You can't Mosin flashbang someone. You can't Labelle flashbang someone. You can't Labelle or Mosin decoy someone, right? You can't do it. You just can't. Only the Sparks can do that because of its absolutely bonkers damage, right? Even arm shots are painful. It comes with 20 bullets, right? A lot of spare ammo. It's a bitchin' gun. And I love the Sparks rifle, okay? It's S for a reason. It's just so freaking good. I love it. Speaking of weapons that are you would think are really good because of their damage, the Nitro Express. Now, a friend of mine has recently been using the Nitro Express to some well-placed shots to some skill. However, I still have to put the Nitro in C tier. For me, personally, remember this is my personal opinion, my subjective opinion, right? The Nitro is so consistently inconsistent. That's the weapon, right? That's where I'd put it. It's consistently inconsistent. It's super scary, much like an Avto, right? But you have to chest shot them. You've got to do it. If you can, look, the Nitro, you can hit someone in the head at 250 meters and they're dead with this thing. And best of luck to you. If you can land Nitro shots at that range, then fuck yeah, man. You are just incredible. Good job. However, with the limited ammo capacity, it's absolutely garbage iron sights. And the fact that you hit someone in the arm or the hand and they're just not dead, right? If you're taking a gun with iron sights that look like an asshole and a projectile speed that's around about the same as the Sparks, but with 6 bullets, a gun that everyone on the map knows you've got the moment you fire it, and an ammo resource that is hard to find, I just can't recommend it. It's just so consistently inconsistent. If you could hit someone in an arm and it went through them and just through them and killed them, then okay, cool. The Nitro would be fantastic. The Nitro would be a lot higher. The Nitro would probably be A tier. If you hit someone in the arm and it kills them at 40 meters, yeah, Nitro would be A. Nitro would be great, but it doesn't. It doesn't do that, right? The partial tags I have seen with the Nitro just ruin the weapon for me. It is a great gun if you can use it, and all of these are in the if you can use column, but drawbacks from me personally are just so high. And this is my list, right? For some people here, the Sparks will be in C and the Nitro be in S for many people, but for me personally, it's just not. I don't like its sights. I don't think it's great. As I said, consistently inconsistent. If you run it with things like, I don't know, an Obrez, so you can hit someone and then they run behind cover and then you just swap to a Nitro and just end them through the cover, yeah, it's great. Like, the Nagant here is only here because of fanning. It's only here because of fanning. But you know what? The shot bowl and all this are only here because of bolt thrower, right? It's relying on you having a certain talent with it. The Nagant by itself is only here because of fanning. Only. Only here. I need to state that. The Nitro has no talents that work with it. It's just average. It's consistently inconsistent. I feel like I've said enough. Some people are going to be absolutely fantastic with it, okay? But I feel like that's a safe place to put the Nitro. It's just just one of those things, man. Okay, it is what it is. Next up, though, moving on from the Nitro, we're going to use another one-shot weapon. The Romero shotgun. This thing used to be This thing used to be so freaking good. The Romero used to be so freaking good. It just was. It was so good. But honestly, I think it's fallen to C. I don't think the Romero is that good anymore. Bleeds removed off shotguns, and you've really got to land your shots with the Romero. Like 15 meters, fantastic. No worries, that's great. But if you miss that shot, or you even miss a few pellets, or you get an arm shot, you're most likely dead. If they're not dead in 15 meters, you most likely are. And the most people will fire the Romero, and then even if it doesn't kill, they'll swap to their pistol. Sure. But the amount of times I have run at someone, I have knife rushed people who I know have a Romero. And they look at me, they round the corner, we look at each other, and I jump and I spin to the side. So their pellets hit my shoulder, and then I go and knife them. They're just dead. I know that sounds like, oh, okay, well, Alan, well, that's you. Yeah, but that's me, and I'm knife rushing you, okay? You're probably dead, right? If I get within 20 meters of you, you're in trouble. That's usually how it works. So the Romero, it used to be so good. It used to be so good, but it's just not anymore. It just doesn't have it, right? Some people love it, some people hate it. It's just not there, and I'm sorry. It's just not there. Duster's D tier. Sorry, it just is what it is. Doesn't have the killing potential of a knife. It's cool, hit them in the head. Doesn't have the same range as a knife. Doesn't have less stamina cost, but no one cares. Just is what it is. Yeah, unfortunately. The Vedeli Carabiner. The Vedeli Carabiner is a body shot machine. Right, it's a body shot machine. But the only reason why it's in C for me is I hate its fucking iron sights. I just hate them. I hate its iron sights. I hate them so much. They look like a goalpost. I can't see what I'm doing. And it's the same, look, iron sights and how the gun looks is important because it's the same reason why the Nitro is here, right? The iron sights are garbage. No one likes them, right? They're there for a reason. The Vedeli just, yeah. Medium ammo, great. Body shot machine. But, not for me. Not for me. I'm sure there's someone here that's like, well, actually, the Vedeli is definitely A tier because it competes with the Mosin and the Guard for Mosin and the Lebel for the fire rate because it can fire very quickly and it does actually pretty reason. No one cares, okay? It's in C for me. It's in C. Next up, we got the knuckle knife. I have a friend of mine, Gunsmack, who swears by the knuckle knife, but you know what? Fuck you. Don't like it. It's still in C for me. Regular knife, knuckle knife, and regular knife. They'll both kill you in the head, right? They'll both do it. But the knuckle knife, I have to kill dogs in the fucking head. Honestly, it probably deserves to be in B tier, but I'm putting it in C tier. Just because fuck you, Gunsmack, okay? You and your knuckle knife, it's staying in C, and no one cares, okay? Go dabble in that, I love you. Handsome bitch. Anyway, moving on from that, we're going to go to one which probably everyone probably guessed was probably going to be coming up at some point, because it's one of those that divides people. That's the LeMat. The LeMat Mark II is a pistol, and it's a compact pistol with 9 bullets, right? With fanning, it's pretty good. And you might be thinking, Alan, fuck yeah, well you put the guard at B because, you know, fanning, and LeMat makes fanning. Yeah, you know what though? You know what? The LeMat's not as accurate. Yeah, I know it has a shotgun, but that shotgun's got about 3 meters. Its iron sights are kind of clunky. I don't really think it's that great. So as a result, the LeMat, for me, it's gonna go in D tier. I'm sorry, the LeMat Mark II, it's in D tier. I know it's a favorite for some people. Farl, the Norwegian terror, he loves his LeMat. He loves the LeMat. He thinks the sun shines out of the LeMat's. But you know what? It just, for me, it's not for me. 9 bullets, compact ammo, fantastic. Fanning, yeah, good. But a 3 meter shotgun range, I'm gonna knife you. I'm gonna stab you. Right? I'm just gonna fucking stab you. So, yeah, you can dual wield it. Like, the only time the LeMat is good is if you dual wield it. Right? If you dual wield them and you dual wield the shotguns, okay, it becomes a little bit better. It'd probably be C then, but you know what? I'm keeping it in D. I'm just keeping it there. It just is what it is. Speaking of pistols that are actually really good and they become very good if you dual wield them, but just one is enough, is the Caldwell Packs. And I honestly, I'm gonna fucking annoy some people here. The Caldwell Packs for me is A tier. It's an A. I think the Caldwell Pax is an A tier weapon. It's just a chat of a gun. It's just so good, right? It fires fast. It's relatively cheap. Yes, medium ammo, but anyone who knows me or watches me play knows that I'm very good with the Caldwell Pax. It's a great gun. It's just so good. It just shoots things. It does things. It's good, and all the guns frickin' shoot things. But it fires faster than an uppercut, just granted, but it fires faster than an upper. I can two-tap someone with a Pax faster than you can two-tap me with an upper. I can just go click, click, and you'll go click, click, like, I can fire it faster. The Caldwell Pax fanning is actually really good. It's relatively accurate. Don't just hold the trigger down. Just go tap, 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 or, tap, tap. You'll be fine. Also, dual wielding these bad boys is really effective. Okay, the Caldwell Pax is very good. It's a good gun. I love its skins. I love all of it. And for me, personally, Caldwell Pax is great. I just love it. Caldwell Conversion, actually, C tier. B tier, sorry. Caldwell Conversion Pistol is really good. B tier. The only reason why it's not higher, honestly, the only reason why it's not with the Pax is just because of the fact it's compact ammo. And the amount of times I have got dicked over by compact ammo. It does have a better fanning than the Pax, but compact ammo, man, it just, same problem. Like, it's just the same problem. Right, I can swap to a Pax. I can hit someone with a Sparks and just reliably swap to a Pax and drop you. Right, just through a wall. I can still do that. Conversion, not really. Any cover, it's like, well, I'm sad now. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Conversion is a great gun. Absolutely fantastic Chad weapon, just not for me. Speaking of absolutely fantastic Chad weapons that are really, really, really good, it's the Bornheim, and the Bornheim's going straight in A tier. It's just so good. It's so good. Oh, freaking hell. Freaking hell, I just remembered something. It doesn't... Oh, wait, yeah, so I wasn't doing variants. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, it's not there. It's not there for a reason. The Bornheim is very good. The Bornheim is a great gun. It's wonderful. Really should use bullet grubber. Yeah, it should really use bullet grubber, but yeah, it doesn't. But it is very good. If you don't, it does use bullet grubber, but most people won't bring it in, right? Because you get it pretty low. You get the Bornheim before you get bullet grubber, so most people won't bring in bullet grubber with it. But I personally am an ammo whore, and I will use bullet grubber. The Bornheim's fantastic, man. It's so good. 3 bullets, spam someone down. It's very good. I don't feel bad getting killed by a Bornheim, whereas I will feel bad getting killed by a Dolch. Speaking of the Dolch, a lot of you probably have wondered by now, Alan, why is the Dolch not on this list? Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why the Dolch is not on that list, and we'll get to that. You know what, actually, fuck it, we'll get to it now. The reason why the Bornheim is here and the Dolch is not on this list is because if you know Hunt, you know the Dolch is just so good. Dolch would be an S tier, but the Dolch would actually be an S+. The Dolch is so good, and everyone universally knows where it is, that I don't have it on the list. Because you know where it is. You know it's an S. You just know it is. You know it's that good. Everyone knows it's that good. I don't even need to talk about it. All of these other weapons here could be disputed for where they belong on the list. The Dolch cannot be disputed for where it belongs. It is S tier, S+ even. It's there for a reason. It's the best gun in the game. It just is, right? There's a reason why I don't have it down here. It's the best gun in the game. Yeah. Dolch, baby. Dolch. Anyway, moving on. We have the Caldwell Rival, which is a shotgun, and I'll tell you what, I've been using this thing recently, and it's proper A tier. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's so good. It's 2 barrels, motherfucker. It's 2 barrels. It's the problem that I have with the Spectre, which I will tell you now, and I put the Spectre in B tier, is that the Spectre, you absolutely, same with the Romero, you absolutely positively have to hit them. Like, full on, in the chest. If you don't, and you hit the arm or something, they are not dead. They will live. And then you have to slowly pump the shotgun and hope you don't fucking die. If you hit someone in the arm with a Caldwell Rival, just readjust and shoot a second time and hit them in the chest and they're freaking dead. And you can go tap tap. You've got 2 bullets as well, 2 shells, sorry. So you can kill one person and then kill another. You can't do that with the Spectre, right? It's just so good. The Caldwell Rival is amazing. It's such a good shotgun. I love it. The Spectre, I have a love-hate relationship with. When I do well with it, it's amazing. When I do shit with it, which is mostly, I mostly do shit with it, yeah, it's not great. Yeah, it's in B tier because I know it can do well. Its bullet pen, by the way, is quite good. It's good. It shoots through walls like a fucking champion. As do all shotguns, really, but the Spectre just feels really good to dick people through walls. Yeah, you can shoot a rival through a wall as well, but the Spectre's got a bit more range than the rival, so it just feels a little bit better. It's safer for a wallbang. But yeah, I'm not really wallbanging people. I'm running in and I'm just putting my shotgun in their face. So yeah, speaking of putting shotguns in people's faces, the Crown and King, or the Crown and Pound, as some people affectionately refer to it, the Crown and King or the Crown and Pound. You would put this thing in S. Most people probably would. If not for the fact that I just don't think it belongs there, really. I don't think it belongs in S. It is very good. The Crown and King is so very good. Less range than a rifle, but it doesn't matter, right? You've got all those rounds, you've got all those bullets. You just shell after shell after shell after shell after shell after shell. It's just very good. It's yeah, what more do you want? It's an automatic shotgun. Well, semi-automatic. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. What more do you want? Super effective, much like the rival. If you don't one-tap someone, you just fire a second time, and you're probably going to kill them. And you've got enough bullets for their whole team. So yeah, good shotgun. I find a lot of the time, though, when I fire a Crown and King at someone, when I get close and fire a Crown at them, they're not dead with the first shot. With the rival, though, they most likely are dead with the first shot. And if they're not, I just go tap really quickly. The Crown, same thing, but I find often they're not dead. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just getting closer with the rival because I have to. I don't know, but I find personally the Crown is more inconsistent for me. But because of the fact it's got so much ammo and the fact you can fire 5 shots before reloading the damn thing, it still deserves to be where it is. It's an absolute brutal shotgun. It's very new player friendly. Just walk in, hold the trigger. Well, you can't really hold the trigger, but just tap the trigger. You get me, right? Speaking of noob weapons you get early that's actually really good, surprisingly good, is the Springfield. The Springfield's a B tier weapon. It's solid. All around solid. Medium ammo, sure. It's got its iron sights like the Vedley, garbage. But you know what? You know what's good about the Springfield that the Vedley doesn't have? Do you know? Wait, don't worry. I'll let you think about it. It's that even though this thing has a big giant block on its right hand side, it still has a better iron sight than the Carabiner. That's it, right? The Carabiner is a body shot machine. The Carabiner is actually, damage-wise, a better gun than the Springfield. The problem is, well, because you can just 2-tap someone very easily with the Vedley. The problem is with the Springfield, it's just, also the thing with the Springfield is it's got a better iron sight than the Vedley. It has better irons. Even though it has that giant fucking block, it's still got better irons than a Vedley. That should tell you how much iron sights mean. At least to me personally, being able to clearly identify what I'm shooting at. Yeah, there's a giant block in my peripheral, but I can still clearly see there's nothing in the middle of my irons like the Vedley. Okay, yeah. The uppercut. Oh man, is this a hard one to place? I debated about this, but you know what? The meta is the meta, and yeah, Sparks Upper, still in S. The meta is the meta. The meta is a reason. The upper's here for a reason. It is long ammo. As I said, the meta is the meta for a reason. The uppercut is just so good. It is so good. It is a long ammo pistol that will consistently dick you. Think about the times that someone has killed you with a pistol other than a Dolch. Okay? Most likely, the first gun you think of is an uppercut. Yeah, I'm sure some people, if you're playing against me, it's a PAX most likely. I usually take the PAX in. But the upper is just so good. It's really fast for a pistol. It's long ammo. It goes through walls. It's just so good. Sparks and upper. And it's because of the damage they do. The uppercut's damage is insane. Same deal. Do you see a trend with the Sparks and upper? They are both up here because of the absolute insane damage they do. Right? If you get hit by either of these things, usually you're having a really bad day. You can fan it too. The fan is kind of unreliable. And last but not least, other than the Dolch, as I said, which I deliberately didn't put on the tier list because we all know where the Dolch is. There's no point talking about the Dolch, right? I'm just going to rant about it. You know, 110 damage, stripper clip. I don't even want to rant about the Dolch. is the Bomb Lance. The Bomb Lance, I actually firmly, get ready for it. B tier. Yeah, it's a B tier weapon. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's a great weapon. It's a boss killer. It's an AI killer. It's a human killer if you can land the projectile. But most people won't though, because the projectile's hard to hit. It's also kind of RNG based. It doesn't go where you want it to go half the time. But the Bomb Lance, actually, the reason why I like it, the reason why I put it in B tier is because it's got such range. Oh my goodness. It's got such range. It's stupid. The Bomb Lance will slap you from a very, very far away. It's the longest melee weapon in the game in terms of range. It's so good. It cleaves like a champion. Light hit will kill someone. Heavy hit will kill someone. Heavy's just got more range. That's it. Yeah. Bomb Lance is so good. The weapons is again, and that completes the tier list. The weapons I don't have here, obviously, are the Officer Pistol, because the Officer Pistol and Officer Carbine are both in A, so I just did the Officer Carbine. And the Dolch I don't have here deliberately because there's just no point. Right? There's no point. We all know where the Dolch is. We all know. Right? There's no point talking about it. There's none. Part of me's wondering, I think I forgot a weapon. But you know what? If I forgot the weapon, chances are it's probably not that good. Or if it is that good, I don't use it or don't care enough. Yeah, that's it for me. That's the official Hunt tier list. That's where they all are. I know I'm going to upset some people, obviously, where I place these things. But you got to remember, this is my personal opinion. This is where I think they all belong. Just me personally, based on how much I use them and where they are and how much I am consistent with them. You know, these guns are all guns that are great and I'm fairly consistent with them, whereas I'm pretty shit with the Nitro. Whereas I've seen people do great things with the Nitro. But me personally, I just don't like it, right? I've seen great things come out of a Carabiner. But me personally, I don't like it. The variant of the Carabiner, with the Deadeye scope, fantastic. Love it. I love it, because it removes the fucking iron sight. If this was the Carabiner Deadeye, I'd put it in B, but it's not. It's just the regular, so yeah. Anyway, Sparks Upper. Meta is the meta for a reason. The meta is still long ammo, right? The meta is still Sparks, Mosin, Labelle, Uppercut. It's still that. Now, Officer Carbine is you see a lot more of it, but the meta's the meta for a reason, baby. So 149 damage and the ability to pen you through walls as a sidearm. I mean, what more do you want? Yeah. Anyway, leave your likes, dislikes, and eternal hatred, or whatever, in the comments below, and let me know what you think. Yeah. And if you really want to know my thoughts on the Dolch, drop by the stream sometime, and I will tell you. Oh boy. Fuck, I hate that gun. Anyway, you're all wonderful. Have a good one, and yeah, I'll see you around.